Hello everyone, welcome to the channel here at MeteoMark Weather. It's great to have you on the channel with me today. We're going to be looking at Tropical Storm Melissa becoming a hurricane, slowly the GFS coming around, pushing westward like the European model. We're going to really focus on the European model and the hurricane models. And the European model very persistent in bringing this storm as a major hurricane just southwest of Jamaica and then eventually over Jamaica over the next week. So this is going to be an agonizingly slow system. Let's get into it. Looking at our infrared satellite view of Tropical Storm Melissa, you can see its center is right about in here, but its extreme cloud tops are kind of displaced to the northeast and southeast side. That's what that vertical wind shear here from the southwest. That's slowly slackening below 15 knots, so it's going to continue to get in an area more favorable for development. And the concern is, as we head next week, 26th, 27th, and 28th, you see the winds getting up to 145 mile per hour, Category 4 as it dances around Jamaica here. That is very concerning. You can see the cloud tops getting very tall here, this three-dimensional view. This system has a lot going for it and lots of moisture on the northeast side here, Port-au-Prince, Haiti, all the way to Dominican Republic as well. All right, so looking at the latest GFS, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because you know it has not been handling this storm along with the subtropical ridge to the northeast and this trough way up here over the just north here along the Gulf Coast. So you get the idea. It does develop it into a major hurricane probably pretty quickly here. Still moving it east to Jamaica. I do have to say, though, it is slowly trending here. A couple days ago, it was way over here. Now it is further west. Still not where the European and some of the hurricane models have it, but there it is. This one's showing a tremendous hit here to Haiti, but this is likely to continue to shift westward here. Bermuda, with the westward shift, you're going to have to watch this as well. The rest of the tropics, there you have it. Still some tropical waves. Let's flip over to the European model. So looking at the European model here, this is the one we've been watching for so long. It's been handling this system much better. As Melissa continues to strengthen on Friday into Saturday, you can see the system really intensifying into a hurricane by Sunday, Saturday night or Sunday. I think this thing will be a hurricane. It is passing just south of Jamaica during this time. You can see how it is strengthening, but it's also getting larger. The radius is getting quite a bit bigger. You can see feeder bands all the way to the north coast of Honduras here, back to the southwest coast and peninsula here of Haiti. So watch out, Port-au-Prince, these areas. Jamaica, look at this. This is where it starts to round the bend a little bit around that periphery of that subtropical high, well to the northeast. You got this trough up here across Florida. But look what it does. It starts to stall right around Tuesday. Yeah, it's almost going to seem like the system's stalling for the next several days, but it'll be plodding at a snail's pace here. Look at this, 934 millibars on Tuesday, early Tuesday morning, 928, 934. So you get the idea, 927, it starts to move towards the southwest coast of Jamaica. During this entire time, it is important to note, if we just back it up here, look at the heavy rain in eastern and southern Jamaica. These rainfall totals are going to be very hefty, and you can see landfall at this point, 929 millibars. That is a major hurricane, and that is a very large circulation heading right over the western parts of Jamaica. And you can see these feeder bands also getting into parts of southwestern Haiti here, just pushing up this direction, and this is going to be a major problem. This is a prolonged tropical system here for Jamaica, and it's very, very concerning. Our thoughts and prayers are all with Jamaica here on this extreme situation. We'll continue to watch it here, but this is going to be a major problem. It will accelerate towards Cuba and drag all these eastern feeder bands through Haiti as well. Looks like Dominican Republic, as you can see, especially the western part of Dominican Republic, will get in on some very heavy rain as well, those southern feeder bands. But there it is, moving through the Turks, Caicos, southeastern Bahamas here next Thursday, the 30th, and then pushing up into the Atlantic as it starts to transition to extratropical. So the big concern here is, look at this. Over the next several days, this system doesn't move much. We start off with Friday. We go to Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It doesn't really start to move till like later Wednesday and Thursday. So literally for almost a week, it's going to be south and southeast, south, and southwest of Jamaica before it rounds the bend. And we're going to have to see how far southwest this veers as well. And I wanted to show you here on Tropical Tidbits view of the storm. There it is. Look how large this is as it approaches Jamaica on Tuesday of next week. So this is crazy. This is going to be one heck of a storm here. But you can see, look at this feeder bands all around it here. Another tropical wave on the southeast corner of your screen here. I also wanted to show you this because it does come it actually comes over Bermuda. Bermuda's right here. So it looks like Bermuda will get hit by this according to this run of the European model as well, because it's been trending a little bit further in this cone here. So you get the idea. This is going to be a big storm. Also on the southeast side of it, it drags a lot of tropical moisture through Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and we get another system moving through the southern Lesser Antilles, Trinidad, Tobago. And unfortunately, more heavy rain as we head through the first part of November. Look at this. We have another strong tropical wave. I know you don't want to hear this, just south of Jamaica. This one looks to be heading towards Honduras and Belize with a prolonged heavy rain event, but watch on the northern edge of it as well. We really start to get into some of these heavy downpours. So looking at our hurricane model here, this is what we're going to be looking at, this organization. This is on just the eastern guidance here of our 12Z. You can see it moving just east of Jamaica. This has been slowly coming on board closer to the European as well. It's still a little bit to the east, but it still brings a lot of heavy rain here into parts of Jamaica that we'll continue to watch with tremendous rain on the east side of this towards Haiti as well. So southeastern Bahamas, it also kicks you through Cuba here, the Turks, Caicos, watch out. I expect this to slowly continue to trend westward like the GFS has been towards the euro. Another product I like to look at here is the HMON model. Let's make sure we have a run that's actually full compiled here. The HMON has been trending closer to the European as well. This one brings it just east of Kingston here on the eastern tip of Jamaica. We'll continue to watch this development. This would be much more devastating for Haiti. So Haiti needs to keep a very close watch on this as well. This also moves towards the southeastern Bahamas. And our latest forecast intensity models here for Tropical Storm Melissa bring this up to easily to Category 3 and likely Category 4 now. There are some models bringing this close to a 5. So this needs to be watched very closely as the wind shear is slackening much quicker than we originally thought here. Sea surface temperatures are primed for this here into the central and north central Caribbean. Look at this. We are running about 3 to 4, close to 5 degrees above average right around Jamaica and Haiti here. European rainfall totals here. This is where things get extremely real. Yeah, with Melissa. Now this hit across Honduras. This is with the southwestern end of Melissa, as well as another tropical wave in the first week in November. So we could easily see some areas close to 300 to 400 millimeters here, north coast of Honduras, southern Belize. So as we stretch over here, Cayman Islands, you're getting off the hook pretty good here so far. Look at Jamaica. We're right around 6, 7, 5, about 550 to 750. Some areas close. Look at that, 1,095 millimeters. I mean, we're getting into rainfall totals here that are 1 to 2 feet plus. This is very concerning. Look at over towards Port-au-Prince over here as well. We're getting totals about 400 to 700 millimeters. Definitely pray for Jamaica and Haiti here, as well as southeastern Cuba, the southeastern Bahamas here, the southern part of Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic, you're getting about 250, close to 400 millimeters as well. This kind of rainfall is not good for anyone, and you combine that with some mountainous terrain here, and that spells a recipe for disaster. In Jamaica, we're looking at a very prolonged rain event, as well as southwestern parts of Haiti here, so please stay safe. And here we go for the Western Caribbean to the GFS model. Yeah, it's still way too far east here. It's putting Haiti into the prime zone. I do want to show you this for the purpose of that tropical wave the north coast of Honduras. Look at this. This is concerning right around November 4th, 5th, and 6th. Wanted to throw this out at you here because I know I have some viewers from Honduras here. Look at that. 6, 7, 800 millimeters. Very concerning. And I just wanted to show you here Haiti. If this scenario were to verify, you know, there's 1,428 millimeters. We know it's not going to be this far east. Haiti's still going to get a lot of rain. So is Dominican Republic, but nothing like the GFS is suggesting here. This bullseye is going to be further west. Eastern Caribbean looks something like this. So Puerto Rico, St. Croix area, that's where you're looking at about 3 to 4 inches. Virgin Islands, a little bit less here. You're 60, 80 millimeters. Look at Trinidad, Tobago, though. I want to show you when this moves in. This is right around November 2nd, 3rd, 4th. You actually get another tropical wave surging about anywhere from 120, 130, 180 millimeters of rainfall here. So watch out. And looking at the Eastern Caribbean here on our GFS run, of course, you know the glitch here with the GFS, not handling the trough and the ridge, but there it is. Tropical wave moving through Trinidad, Tobago come the first week of November, even as far north here as St. Vincent, Barbados area. Watch out for 60 to close to 120 millimeters of rainfall. And thanks to Tropical Tidbits for our mid-layer dry air analysis. I wanted to go over this for you because it's going to paint the picture of how dry air is not really going to be a thing with this storm. Yeah, if it were to trend westward towards the Western Caribbean, maybe so. But look at this. It's a big ball of moisture. It's creating its own moist environment, and I don't really see any of this major dry air being sucked into it on the west end. It does start to wrap around at it well past Jamaica, Haiti, and Cuba. So once it gets into the Bahamas, it starts to get this comma type shape, and then it starts to turn extra tropical there. So there you have it. It does. The good news is there is some big dry air behind it, but that's very short-lived because you can see we start to get this moisture surge back west again. So here's another thing I wanted to show you. If we take a look at, wind shear here with our upper dynamics and get an idea of how much, see how the wind shear is slackening over this system over the next couple days? It really just drops to almost zero once it gets just southwest of Jamaica because all of the heavy wind is well up to the north here. So it won't start to get back into wind shear once it gets on the other side of Cuba towards the Bahamas. Even then, it's lighter than it was at the beginning of this system. So you get the idea. It's got a lot going for it here into the north central Caribbean. All right, so looking at our future radar here, yeah, lake effect is basically going to be the name of the game here because there's not too much else talking about here until we get to the southern plains where we're going to get some severe weather. So there it is, northeast Ohio, northwest Pennsylvania, northern upstate New York. We're looking at that lake effect. That will be slowly winding down for Ohio, but look at Pennsylvania and New York during the daylight hours of Friday. We're going to have those scattered showers and, those heavier downpours within those lake effect. Cleveland does get a few later in the day, in the evening, getting some showers moving off of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, Erie, Buffalo, Syracuse as well. And then we stretch on into 2 p.m. on Saturday. We do it all over again, maybe a few showers off the lakes here, but less coverage than we saw over the last couple days. Now, look what's going to be happening down here into the southern plains. This is where things really get cranking. This is 5 p.m. on Friday. Look at that. That's some big-time severe weather and heavy rains for Texas. Yeah, it's going to consolidate into a squall line through 1 a.m. on Saturday morning. You can see it moving through Dallas all the way down to Austin here. This pushes towards Houston come 7 a.m. on Saturday morning. So that's pushing towards Louisiana. As we get through 1 p.m., we get refiring behind it here. So we're going to have a rough day here. Severe weather looks really bad here across parts of Texas. Look at this, western Texas, where you have a slight risk. Also, the darker green is a marginal risk. That's going to continue to expand eastward as we head towards southeast Texas and Louisiana towards Saturday. And picking up where our future radar left off here on the GFS, you can see as we kick through the weekend, there's that storm system across parts of the Gulf Coast states. Severe weather is going to be a potential here with the heavy rain event as well. Now, this moves to the southeast coast right around the 27th. This is right where we're going to start to get that trough digging. That's going to help push our system out to the northeast, maybe try to spin up a coastal low. This is right around October 29th. Look at this. So this trough is going to help spin Melissa way out to sea here. That's some great news, but look what it does next week. Look at this thing. This is a perfect comma shaped. Yeah, we got this retrograding low back in through Pennsylvania here. Extreme amounts of rain and wind. Looks like a nor'easter taking effect here, only it's an inland nor'easter, and then moving up towards parts of the Canadian Maritimes. Also, this resembles kind of an Alberta Clipper, only with rain. It's going to get the lake effect cranking behind it as well. So watch out. We are in for some stormy times across the lakes, northeast, mid-Atlantic, the east coast here. But we get into November here, the first part of November. It's looking pretty quiet, except look at the proverbial lake effect rain streamers here. So for our European, picking up where our future radar left off, you can see our storm system over this weekend. Severe weather along the Gulf Coast states here. Heavy rain spreading eastward here through Monday. It pushes into Georgia and parts of the Carolinas. European going all in on a coastal low here. You see this big blocking high up there to the northeast, providing you with a nice weekend into early next week. You kind of see this low pressure turn into a double barrel coastal as we stretch through Wednesday and Thursday of next week. So you can kind of see this attached to Hurricane Melissa here at the tail end. So lots of tropical moisture being funneled up off the coast. Thankfully, that's keeping Melissa off the east coast here. Look at these isobars. That means extreme winds out of the northwest here howling. It's going to keep our coastals a little bit riding low here off the coastline. But you can see what's happening. We're starting to get into this colder air mass across Canada. Look at that, some snowfall popping up. And this almost looks like a little mini Alberta Clipper, only with rain. And here we go for rainfall amounts nationally here. Yeah, it's the lakes up here. The lake effect keeps cranking. That'll settle down over the weekend, though, with some high pressure and sunny skies. Look what happens, though, across parts of the southern plains, southeast Gulf Coast states over the weekend. Severe weather spreads east. Look at that. Coastal low tries to get cranking across the Carolinas there as we get right around the 29th, 30th, and then we get a big surge here back east. So the European really opening up here on some coastal lows, especially for eastern New England here. We'll get close to 2 to 3 inches. Look at here into the Carolinas, though, 6, 7, 8 inches in some of these areas. We'll have to watch out for some very heavy rain along the Gulf Coast as well, 2 to 6 inches. Looking at our GFS model here, comparing it to the European. As we stretch this out through time, you can see what's happening, the southern plains here, and then eventually translating to the east coast next 30th and the 31st come the end of the month. A massive coastal low goes inland. Look at this. If this verifies, that's 6 to 8 inches of rain for northwestern Pennsylvania, southwestern upstate New York. And look at that, 5 to 7 inches up here into eastern New England and Maine. Down here along the Gulf Coast as well, some areas 2 to as much as 6 locally higher amounts of rainfall. Before we continue with more weather coverage, don't forget, if you made it this far in the video and you like it, smash that like button, everyone. It really does help. Question or comment down below. I love to read your questions or comments and respond to them. And don't forget, subscribe, bell notification button so you're alerted with all my future weather video updates, especially ahead of this winter season, which I'm putting the finishing touches on my winter 25-26 outlook. Let's continue with more weather coverage. NAO Index is negative, but come the middle of November, we're pushing towards neutral. MJO Index looking something like this. You can see we're in phase 4 right now. We're going to be heading towards 5, 6, and maybe eventually 7. So we'll slowly crank through the quieter times, it looks like here. And looking at our upper air pattern here with the European model, you can see we have these troughs and ridges, ridge across eastern Canada, trough across the southeastern United States as we stretch through the last part of October here. Thankfully, This East Coast trough is capturing Melissa and pushing it out to sea here, absorbing it on the east side. And you can see very unsettled across eastern North America until we get to about the 4th, 5th. We even get another one cranking in, but it's going to become apparent we got a ridge moving in come the 2nd week of November. Out here into the Western Pacific, we actually don't have too much to talk about at the moment. Look at South Korea and Japan's pretty quiet. So is China. Philippines are below average here for precipitation. You're getting some of these tropical waves moving through. Look at through the 27th and 28th. This frontal boundary is pretty much going to protect most of Southeast Asia, Japan, and these areas. So yeah, it's looking pretty good out here. You can see maybe some rain trying to develop off the Japanese coast. We got some tropical wave. Look at how the Philippines really clear out here. Japan's weather does get stormier by about November 4th here, so watch out. But yeah, we may actually try to have a tropical storm form just west of Guam here as we get towards the 1st week of November. And looking at the Western Pacific rainfall amounts here, yeah, it's toned down quite a bit. We don't have too much to talk about here into the short term. But watch this. There's northern Vietnam. You will get into some monsoon-type moisture, upwards of 800 millimeters here. You do start to fill in towards the 1st week of November here in the Philippines, right around 150, 200 millimeters. Also, Japan, yeah, the 1st week of November, moisture surge. So here we are with our Canadian weather outlook. You can see it's going to get pretty quiet this last week, but Saskatchewan, Alberta, Manitoba area, watch out. We're going to have this big low wind up, some beneficial rain. Look at the west coast as well, another Pacific system. Here in Quebec, right around the 29th, some good spritzels of rain here. Watch this coastal low from the United States try to blast northward here. Southern Quebec, Ontario, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, you're going to get some beneficial rain here. Look how heavy this is as this low pressure moves well inland. Also, continued tremendous rainfall out here and mountain snow into British Columbia. Yeah, active weather is ahead. Looking at our rainfall totals for Canada here. Yeah, the West Coast, that's where the lion's share of the rain's going to be, although you're going to get some hefty rainfall totals here in Southeast Canada as well. Look at the West Coast, 200-300 millimeters here. British Columbia, central prairie areas right around 30, 40, maybe as high as 60 millimeters. But it's here into Quebec, beneficial rain. New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, the Canadian Maritimes, you're probably going to get up towards 60 to close to 100 millimeters here. Great news. Temperatures here for your Friday. Look at this. There's actually some 40s around parts of the Great Lakes. 50s here into the Ohio Valley and to the northeast. We'll continue to watch this pretty much hold tough, but look at this. 70s, 60s and 70s, the northern plains here with some strong winds here, bringing in some warmer temperatures. And you can see 50s raining across parts of the Ohio Valley into the northeast here. So we're going to slowly see a warming trend towards Sunday here. A lot of 60-degree readings, 70s along the Gulf Coast. As we head into Monday, look what's happening. We get this Appalachians down into the 50s here. So feeling pretty fall-like here with especially fall foliage breaking out in full swing here. The mid-Atlantic, parts of the Appalachians into the northeast to New England here. Some areas getting past peak. And as we get into next Wednesday, look at this. This looks right about where we should be for late October. It looks pretty nice. A lot of 50s and 60s and even some 70s here along the Gulf Coast. Extended forecast from our hometown viewers, bringing them to Scranton, Susquehanna, River Valley, New York, and Pennsylvania. Friday, Saturday here, we have some scattered lake effect rain showers, but the sun will be more prevalent. So not to worry, it's not going to be all day rain, just a few spritzels here and there. Sunday, partly sunny into Monday and Tuesday as well. You can't ask for better weather for late October. We're in the low 50s on average and frosty, cold starts as well. Plenty more weather to come. Here is a look at my affiliate. Check out these awesome, amazing maps. I am proud to announce that I am now an affiliate with Trilogy Maps. TrilogyMaps.com, bringing you the most digital, customizable maps found nowhere else on the internet. These maps are simply stunning. It's an advanced layering system that makes these maps great for making forecast maps with ease or any other maps that you would like to display important information on. The resolution on these maps is simply amazing. From the detail of everything here in the States, and you can also create stunning, digital, professional layered maps from also across the entire world.
And don't forget, in checkout, the discount code option, use my code, MeteoMark, hit apply, and you will get 20% off your order. So if you want the most professional, customizable, and affordable weather maps found nowhere else on the internet, look no further than trilogymaps.com. Link in the description down below along with your discount code.
As always, thank you for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather. Also, don't forget to join me on Facebook at MeteoMark, also Weather Northeastern, also Twitter at Weather Eastern. Don't forget it's MeteoMark.com, and don't forget, if you want to send me a coffee, there is a link, Super Thanks. You can smash that Super Thanks button or my PayPal link in the description down below. You can buy me a cup of coffee. Thanks everyone, share that video, subscribe if you haven't, smash that like button.